Hello. I know we said we're going to move forward with our tutorials to consider lighting, cutting out sections and plans, and setting our final render settings. However, before we move forward with our tutorials, I would like to answer a few questions that I have been receiving about how do we rescale a material? How can I edit my material so that the size of the texture fits the scale of my objects or the scale of my space? So I have right now this African teak wood as a part of my material, and all I have to do to go and edit it is press on it, and there should be something that addresses the scale of the material down at the texture side. Now you can see that in my view there seems to be a problem with my Rhino file that I have searched a lot to fix. I do not see the scale of any of my objects. I can only edit the transparency, I can edit the bumps and the environment, but there's nothing that allows me to edit the scale. Now to be able to do that, I just need you to check one more thing. So you're going to go to render and go to the texture editor. So right here you can see that it says that there are no textures currently in the model. If your Rhino was installed correctly in your system, you should be able to see a list of all the material that you have used in your file. Whatever changes you make to this file or to this texture is going to apply to the material of the object that, or to any object that has that material applied to it. Right now you can see that I only have the African teak at the top, but the list is still empty. However, this still allows me to edit a few settings of my material and edit the texture, edit a lot of my material. So if you cannot see that, all you have to do is go to the plus sign. So instead of adding the material from the material tab, you need to add it as a texture first. So I'm going to click on this plus sign, import from texture library. Now the problem here is, as you can see, if I scroll down to wood, I cannot see all the kinds of wood that are in my folder, in my original library folder. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this all supported formats. I'm going to choose all files right at the bottom, and then you can see that all the other files are now apparent. All I have to do is choose the African teak, which is the material that I was using before, or the material that I was referring to. Choose it and click on open. Now once I do that, I'll now be able to edit whatever I want to edit in my material. I can edit the color, the transparency, the Fresnel, alpha, and so on. Now as you can see, I still cannot see the scale, so all I have to do is press on this little arrow right here, go to the picture, which is the JPG picture, and now I can edit whatever I want. It allows me to edit the size. So instead of 100, and I want you to keep an eye on the picture right here. Let me see if I can enlarge it. Yep. So this is the ray traced picture, and you can see the texture, the material texture. I'm gonna go back to my texture editor right here. I'm just gonna take it outside so I can see a bit more clearly. My window's a bit small. Okay, it was added here. Okay, so there it is. Now I can change the size. Oh my god, sorry for that, just a second. I just need to make sure that you can clearly see the effect right here. And I'm gonna change the size, say from 100 to, let's exaggerate it a bit so you can see the difference. I'll make this 1000 instead. And you can see that since those are connected together, it will automatically change because the ratio is connected. So you can see the scale right here. This is 1000. I'm going to make it as small as 1. So you can clearly see the picture and hit the enter button. And you can see that the scale is changing right here in the image. I hope this helps if you're facing that problem. So please go ahead and start adding all your material manually from the texture library. Mind you, whatever you add in the textures tab will automatically be added as a material. So now I should have, if I have added African teak as a material first and then added it again as a texture, I will end up with two African teak material in my material library, which might cause confusion. So if you're facing the problem that I am facing, make sure that you delete all your material from the material library and go ahead and add them as textures. You can also move this as a part of these windows or these tabs right here, so you can have immediate access to the textures just as easily as you do to the material library. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep watching for the rest of the tutorials, please.